I think we're in an age of holiday-themed horror films, and if they all come out at least this level of quality, I'm all here for it. So Heart Eyes is a new horror rom-com film from Josh Ruben, who has previously made Werewolves Within and Scare Me, which apparently have like a huge cult following. I haven't seen them, but after seeing Heart Eyes, I'm kind of intrigued. So like I said, this is a rom-com horror film. Two co-workers are mistaken as a couple by a Valentine's Day serial killer known as the Heart Eyes Killer. Now they must try and save themselves from his wrath. Despite what I said, it is a rom-com first, and it just so happens to also have a horror film kind of Trojan horse in there, and it's not the other way around, if you're wondering. The story beats are that of a traditional rom-com. You know, they have the meet cute, there's the crisis, all of it. It's a standard rom-com story structure. The horror aspects of the film really do feel well integrated into the story itself. Instead of wacky shenanigans in a rom-com, it's replaced with kill scenes and chases. First off, the film itself is just shot extremely well. The scenes where it's more of a rom-com are shot in a more flat manner, and then when it goes back to horror, the contrast and black levels really come back to create that eerie vibe that you want from like a slasher. I really like that it could continuously make that change in style over the course of the film when it needed to. It shows a level of respect and understanding of both the horror and rom-com genres. It's not trying to be, you know, one or the other. It doesn't feel like they're both competing for like what aesthetic the film wants to be. It's like, oh, we're both. We will do it as if we're making both of them. But a film is only as good as its characters, and luckily Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt are really great in this. Their chemistry is just palpable, and you ultimately want to see them get together, which is what you want from a rom-com. The performances are big, which is fitting for the film itself. It is very over the top. Gooding is playing kind of a more suave, smooth-talking guy, and Holt is kind of doing the more adorable, awkward, adorkable approach to things. And I think their performances work in spite of the script. A lot of the humor is built, it's like Gen Z. Everyone's trying to be like, sound modern. Whether you like that or not will depend on whether you find a lot of this funny or not. There's talk of sugar daddies and how that's a problematic phrase now. There's things like that. So if you think that's funny, there's plenty like that in this. For me, it was more of a mixed bag. There were some lines that did get me to laugh. There's others that I was like, I don't know about that one. That being said, the comedy involving some of the kills and the absurdity of the situation, those moments really hit for me. I really thought they did a good job with building those comedic scenes. And speaking of the horror parts, they really worked for me. For the most part. There's one gripe I have with the horror elements, but I'll get into that in a bit. Yeah, but the gore and some of the effects were really gnarly, and it made way for some really fun kills here. As a fan of really well done effects, I was pleasantly surprised with some of the kills in this, and they really went for some shocking deaths, and I think it paid off. It's a film that's not trying to scare you in a way that makes you feel like terrible. You know, it's not like Hereditary or that term elevated horror, which I think is a stupid term. But anyway, it's more like it's trying to scare you in the same way that a haunted house is trying to scare you. It is more focused on the loud bang jump scares. It's quiet, bang. That's the type of scares that we're in for. You know, it's nothing that's going to impact you too long after the film is over. It's more like immediate in the moment. That's the type of fear that we're going for. And that's also kind of the feeling that you want from a slasher like this, one that is big, over the top, and kind of not taking itself too seriously. You want to have fun while also being quite startled and seeing great gore, you know what I mean? But ultimately it is a slasher, so it does follow a lot of the tropes and cliches of a slasher film. So the killer seemingly has to be able to teleport in between scenes, in between locations. He needs to be silent. It's just any kind of like slasher film trope for its killer, the Heart Eyes Killer has in this. He doesn't really bring anything new to the table. He's just like, oh, he's a new slasher killer guy, except he only kills on V-Day, and he only kills couples, apparently, even though they kind of break that rule a bit. But who cares, because he kills some people in a fun way. But ultimately, the feeling that I got from a lot of this film is that it wanted to be Scream. It wanted to have that style. More specifically, it wanted to have the style of the new Scream requels. You know, it wanted to have that fun, self-referential nature that those films have. Scream as a franchise, though, isn't just quirky and self-referential. Those films, for the most part, also have something deeper to say, not just about the horror genre, but also about the way we watch films and the impact they leave on us. This doesn't have that same deeper meaning behind it. And I didn't go into this thinking that it would have a deeper meaning behind it, but the ending made me question if it was trying to have something deeper to say about the nature of love as a whole, and I just kind of missed that, you know? Olivia Holt's character arc is, you know, built upon love, but it's nothing like too challenging, nothing we haven't seen before, but there is a revelation that comes with the killer in this film that makes me go like, are we trying to do something deeper here? Is there something deeper going on that we're trying to pull off that I wasn't getting for the entire film? Needless to say, the ending all of a sudden just goes in a more serious tone in a way that feels almost out of place with everything else. And it kind of felt like the filmmakers felt like they had to allude to something deeper because Scream did that. So it's like, oh, Scream did it, so we have to as well. If we're copying that same sort of vibe, we need to do that. When in reality, you didn't. And that's what was kind of frustrating for me with this film, is that it felt like it needed to do things because it's what the genre demanded from them. When in reality, it was working for a lot of it because it was doing new things and having fun while doing it. Maybe I'm wrong, and I would love to be wrong. I want to hear other people's opinions on this. Is this just a mindless slasher, or is there actually something deeper here that I missed somehow? But yeah, overall, I think it's a really fun time. It'll be a crowd pleaser for people looking for an entertaining Valentine's Day film for sure. And it's really elevated by its two really likable main leads. It's nothing too special or unique, but I can't say it was a bad time. For my rating for this film, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's possible this rating will go up over time. If I rewatch it, I'm sure it'll probably go up at least half a star. But I still had a pretty good time with this one, and I imagine you will too. So what did you guys think of Heart Eyes if you guys did see it? I would really like to know your guys' thoughts on this one, so please let me know in the comments down below, and I hope to see you guys next time. So, long live cinema.